You there?
I'm here. How you doing?
All right, yeah. Cole's having some trouble over there on the board.
Cole's behind the 8 ball there or something.
A little bit. You got a little squirrely over there with the buttons. Kevin, real quick.
All is fine.
Real quick, before we get into high school football, we were talking with Mike McGarry a couple minutes ago about Matt Caesar being part of the Chicago Cubs, and what a great thing for South Jersey, man, to have one of our own be on a championship team like that. And I'm not sure if you covered him throughout your career, but talk a little bit about him and what he means to South Jersey.
To be honest with you, I never saw Matt Caesar play a high school baseball game because we really didn't get down that far into the shore area at the time. But, if people understand a little bit about Matt Caesar, they would really learn a lot about the kid, about the guy, and learn and really be appreciative of maybe more than him being able to be a baseball player, just the things he's been able to do in his life and being part of that bone marrow program at Villanova while he was there. And that really kind of tells you a little bit about the guy and the fact that, he knows where he came from and he's very humble about things. So, for South Jersey baseball, it's another feather in the cap that, you can play in the Northeast and you can still, if you got the talent, they'll find you and you can succeed. So, hopefully, we get another Matt Caesar. Maybe, I don't know if we can get another Mike Trout, but maybe, get another player like a Matt Caesar who can, work his way up to the major league level and show that he belongs.
Kind of makes you feel bad about your own accomplishments. Here's a guy saving kids' lives. He's winning world championship rings. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good story, and it's people should go back and look at different things that have been written about him because obviously he's done some very nice things.
Now, did you stay up till about 1:30 in the morning on Wednesday watching Game 7?
I was up, and it was actually the only baseball game I watched start to finish the entire season.
Really? Well, definitely a good one, man. And how about that parade yesterday? We're going to have Matt Caesar's dad on right after you, and man, millions of people out there in Chicago. What an experience!
I've been to Chicago twice, and it's a great city, and just like Philadelphia fans, they're extremely passionate, and when you've had the rug pulled out from under your feet as much as it seems to have been with the Cubs, that when you finally break through, you've got to celebrate. So obviously that was a tremendous feat.
Talk with Kevin Minnick of the Courier-Post. Kevin, let's talk some high school football. Last weekend of the regular season, some teams had to win to get in. Other teams jockeying for playoff position. Tell us about your game last night, Cherry Hill West and Camden Catholic.
This game was pretty well hyped up, and we kind of, me and Mark Tribble kind of agreed that, going into last night, that was the game of the season in South Jersey high school football, in our opinion. Other games had, some tremendous matchups, but, at this point, that game, two undefeated teams, both, playing for a division title, playing for a significant playoff berth, and both teams are clearly in the playoffs, but still probably fighting for their position. And it's 7-7 at halftime. And aside from the final minute, which was final minute of the first half, which was a little shaky, it was a tremendous first half of football. But I don't know what happened at halftime, but Camden Catholic came out, took the first possession, kicked the field goal, went ahead, and they just owned the game. Cherry Hill West had 15 yards of offense in the second half and no first downs. And Camden Catholic, whenever they got the ball, they were able to drive and score. Camden Catholic really showed something last night, especially with a crowd the way it was. I mean, that place was packed at Camden Catholic. People lining the fence, several deep, and both student sections were pretty good. So, it was just it was a great atmosphere last night, and I was really surprised in the way that Camden Catholic just completely dominated the second half, and the West could do nothing. West had been a team that had been running the ball pretty well and probably has some quality athletes, including Harrison Hand as a DB wide receiver for them is maybe one of the best, maybe the best defensive player in South Jersey. And last night Camden Catholic did a great job of being able to run the football against a team that had not given up many yards on the ground. So, like I said, very impressed with what Camden Catholic did, and Cherry West will right the ship a little bit as they, next with the playoffs next week. But like I said, Camden Catholic was extremely, extremely impressive.
Are you surprised at the season they've had? I mean, did you see them putting up this kind of record with the schedule they had in front of them?
I think we've talked in the past. Camden Catholic is a kind of a young team in a lot of spots, but and on the other side of it, in key spots, they got some experience. And did I see them being undefeated and playing as well as they have? Maybe not. But I definitely thought that they would clearly be, one of South Jersey's better teams. And, they survived the scare with Holy Spirit last week in a game that a couple people said they probably shouldn't have won. So, they showed some resiliency there, and then they come back this week. And like I said, in the second half, they stepped on the pedal, and they never let up. So, we'll see what happens. They're going to get a home game in the playoffs. Looks like they're going to get St. John Vianney. So, that's all you want to play for, really, is to play for that home, get that home playoff game. So we'll see what they can do with that next week.
Talk with Kevin Minnick of the Courier-Post. Kevin, talk a little bit about Clearview. That's a team that's really come on of late, and nice win last night. What do you think of that squad?
Clearview's a team that I haven't really been able to figure out this year, and I kind of maybe had a little bit higher expectations for them, even though they've only lost 2 games. They've kind of been kind of quiet, but last night, I'm not sure. I don't know exactly how the game unfolded. I have a feeling Delsey sat a lot of their guys, but I'm not completely sure about that. But I'm leaning that way for Clearview to score 42 straight, and then Delsey score 8 in the fourth. So, but that's a game Clearview needed to win, and it'll get themselves into playoffs, and now maybe build some momentum and take it from there. But they've got some quality kids on that team. The quarterback Jarrett Baker's had a real fine season for them, and Gair Sharper, running back, defensive back, is a very solid player. So, like I said, Clearview's kind of been under the radar a little bit this year. For me, it's a quiet 6-2. But when the playoffs roll around, anything can happen. So we'll see what Mark Deal has in store for them.
You ready for this week's curveball?
Oh, here we go.
I'm even telling you it's coming.
You had some time. You prepared for this question.
Actually, it kind of just came to me on the fly, so I can't take credit. I can't take credit for hours of preparation on this one. But give us your surprise team in the playoffs. A team you didn't think was going to make it, but is now in one of these playoff divisions.
A team I didn't think was going to make it.
Anybody out there that maybe really jumped up and surprised you and, wow, this team's in the playoffs?
Well, probably what you had talked about with Mike McGarry, maybe down that way is Middle Township. A team that maybe hasn't had a lot of success in recent years, but seems to have turned it around a little bit. 5-3, and they've got some quality kids down there. The Sean Scott kid, you look at all the different stat numbers and stuff, and he's right up there with a lot of the top players in South Jersey. So, I think maybe if there is one team right now, just off the top of my head, barely looking at anything here, that Middle Township might be, the kind of team where I never saw that coming.
Kevin, real quick before we let you go, big game today, Oakcrest at Cedar Creek. We know Oakcrest needs this win. How badly does Cedar Creek need this win? Do they, can they afford to lose right before the playoffs? I don't know. I'm not sure how it'll affect the seeding, but you want to obviously be playing well going into the playoffs. What do you see in Cedar Creek today? What do they need to accomplish?
You don't want to take a loss right now, and you don't want to be on a roll and then kind of have things stop in midstream, I guess. I'm pretty certain that they're going to lock into the 1 spot. If not the 1 spot, the 2. I don't know if West Deptford picked up enough points last night to vault over them. But Cedar Creek's a team that, you go back earlier in the season when they go up to Camden, and they play Camden in the 4th game of the season after a pretty nice start of 3-0, and Camden rolled them. And I think at that point, I think Tim Watson could, if you asked him point blank, were you embarrassed walking off that field? I think they'd probably say yes. Camden put an absolute hurting on them that day, and maybe brought the Pirates down to earth a little bit and showed them, we just cannot step on the field and win ball games. So, they've won 4 straight since then. The last 2 games have been tight games, close games, but they've also been against very good teams in St. Joe and Haddonfield. So I think you want to go into the playoffs on a roll. You want to win. You don't play the game to lose. They keep score for a reason, and I think Cedar Creek, gives full effort today. And obviously, Oak Crest needs the W. So Oak Crest is going to bring everything they have because they have nothing to lose. So I think that should be a pretty good football game today. Especially if Oak Crest can stay with them, maybe up until the fourth quarter, and then a play here or there could make the difference. But I don't see Cedar Creek sitting back at all this game. I think they need to continue to keep that ball rolling.
Good stuff as always, Kevin. Appreciate you taking a few minutes. We'll catch up with you next week as the playoffs get started.
Oh, no problem. We're looking forward to them.
All right, man. Have a good weekend. Thanks, bud.
All right, you too. Have a good day.
That was Kevin Minnick of the Courier-Post.